What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Canadian Consumer. My name is Shomes, and today we are taking a look at the Nvidia Shield 2019. As you'll remember from my last video, these guys here are extremely hard to find right now. They just came out pretty recently and the Nvidia Shield fans apparently have been eating them up. I was super lucky and able to find this one at a Best Buy near me, but I'll put the Amazon link down in the description for those of you who still might be looking. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump into this guy that's packed full of new features for 2019, including Dolby Vision and AI upscaling. All right, so here we go. We're gonna unbox the Shield TV now. Comes with these nice little pull tabs here, so you don't have to worry about cutting it. But before we get to that, let's just look at the info on the box. So number one, what's inside? We have the Nvidia Shield tube right here, the new remote that we're gonna take a look at in a second, and then a power cable. So right off the bat, you'll notice that there's no HDMI included, but I mean, in this day and age, I would assume that most of us have a spare HDMI cable lying around the house, or whatever device you're gonna be replacing. If you already have some sort of Android box, it's very easy to just simply unplug that one and plug it directly into the Shield. Moving on to the specifications, this is where we see the first upgrade of this year's iteration, is that rather than having just the Tegra X1, it's actually the Tegra X1 Plus processor, which is said to have a 25% performance increase. So you're gonna notice that using this box versus the previous 2017 version, this one should be a lot zippier when you're moving through the box, opening and closing different apps, etc. We still got the 256 core Nvidia GPU, and that's more so for the gaming aspect because you are able to stream games directly from Steam and other sources. So that's what that's mostly used for. Interesting this year is the Dolby Atmos and Dolby Digital Plus. So if your device and your setup isn't actually able to or isn't compatible with the Dolby Atmos features, then you're not going to notice that. So it really depends on what you're going to be running your Shield TV off of in order to experience that functionality there. So this smaller version is only 2 gigabytes of RAM. We know that the Pro has 3, so you're losing 1 gig of RAM there. 8 gigabytes of storage, and because this one doesn't have a USB slot, which we'll look at in a second, it's very important to remember that if you want to expand that storage, your option for doing so is through SD cards. So it says right here, actually, micro SD expandability. So there's gonna be an SD slot. You can throw that in to increase your storage. So you have the 802 dual band Wi-Fi. So again, for those of you who have a modem that allows you to run a 5 gigahertz network as well, you're gonna wanna connect your Nvidia Shield to that box to get the best Wi-Fi functionality. For those of us who are lucky enough to have Ethernet cables near our media setups, that is obviously going to be your best option to make sure that you're getting the speed that you need for seamless streaming, especially as it relates to video games. So if you're only going to be streaming videos, movies, etc., then you're totally fine with the Wi-Fi. It's just when it comes to actually streaming those games from your PC or other places where you really want to make sure that you're strapped in using Ethernet. And then finally, we have the Bluetooth 5.0, which becomes very important for those of us who are interested in the gaming capabilities of this box. If you have an Xbox controller or a PS4 controller, you can connect it via Bluetooth directly to the Shield and use that to control your box if you don't want to pay the extra money for the Nvidia controller that we saw in the last video. So that's it. Let's see if we can open this guy up right here. Again, really cool. Don't need to get a knife or anything because it just has these nice, easy pull tabs up here. So I can rip this one off. Sorry. Just leave that there. Rip this one as well. And see if we can pull this out. There we go. So first things first, this is really awkward to pull out. Oh, it comes out this way. Makes sense. Okay, good to go. So pretty cool presentation there. I'm assuming that, here we go, this is just books and stuff that nobody ever wants to read. So you've got your Shield support guide, as well as your quick start guide. But I mean, really and truly, just plug all the things in and connect it to your TV. And then finally, at the very bottom here, if I could get this open, without even opening all the way, you'll notice that this power cord doesn't have that huge cumbersome adapter at the end. The power supply is actually built into the Nvidia Shield tube here, so you get some space savings there. If you're somebody like me who doesn't have the most efficient power brick, where you're always trying to play Tetris to try to figure out how to get your new power cables in, then this is going to be great for you because it fits in easily. It's very easy to hide this behind your TV, and you really don't have to worry too much about trying to get it to fit. So that stuff we can just toss to the side for now, and then take a look at the actual product itself. So starting off with one of the biggest changes, or the bigger change, I'll put this to the side for now, is the remote, as we said. So this one here actually feels a lot better than the previous iteration of the remote. The last one was very flat, very easy to drop, and very easy to have fall between your cushions. So this new, I don't know, triangular prism shape is actually pretty ergonomic, has a pretty good hand feel. And then we have the updated face as well. So you've got your dedicated power button up here. This button right there, for those of you who aren't familiar with Android, will just open up your apps in an app display. So if you've got 7 apps open, you can hit that guy right there, and then it'll bring up all 7 apps, and you can scroll through to the one that you want. As we said, similar to last year, this circular portion right here, so you have your left, right, up, down, and then obviously this would be select, back button, home button, and then you have your controls for media, controls for media just right here. So forward, play, pause, and back, and then volume up, volume down, and your mic button. If you remember from last video, the previous way that you'd go volume up and down was that little sensor trackpad, which, while it was, I guess, functional, it took it a while to actually pick up. So I think they added some technology there so that you didn't have accidental up downs, and you'd have to sit there and kind of play with it for a while before the Nvidia registered that you were trying to change the volume. So very nice to just have these nice clicky buttons this year. And then finally you have your Netflix button, which if you don't have a Netflix account, you can just remap this button to something else. So let's say you have Disney Plus, because that just came out, and you want to remap this to be your Disney Plus button or your Hulu button, whatever it might be, then you have that option there. So really cool, very nice hand feel, as we said. And I like that it has a matte finish this year, so it's not really gonna slip out of your hands too much. Last thing is that you're actually able to use this, I think it's called infrared boom. So you're able to use this to control not only your Nvidia Shield, but also to power on your TV and your audio system if you choose to use this as your one single remote. And then next we have the tube itself. So a very different form factor for an Android box, for a media box in general. If we flip over to this side here, hopefully you can see it on the camera. You've got where your power will attach to the power supply just in here. And then, as we said, you have a gigabit Ethernet port just there. Do you need to use the Ethernet port? No, but if you have it close enough to your TV, then you might as well just make use of it. Or if you have an Ethernet cable close enough to your TV, you might as well make use of it. On the opposite side, you've got your HDMI and then your SD slot there. So very important again to remember that there is no USB slot. So that makes it difficult for those of you who are Android box savvy and you're used to just loading apps via APK using a USB. Now you've got to get a little bit more creative in figuring out how to actually get your apps onto this. Overall, not very heavy, a very nice weight to it, very easy to hide behind your TV. Some people have said that they would just leave it on the floor, sort of supposed to be out of the way, but if you're somebody like me who has a dog, this is the last thing that I would want to leave on the floor. I mean, my dog would totally think this was a toy and try to chew on it. So what ends up happening is you would have your power cable connected to one side, you'd have your HDMI connected to one side, and that would kind of keep it suspended behind your TV. So you can get kind of creative on how you want it to be suspended behind the TV. I would strongly suggest not to place this on the floor. Another reason why you wouldn't want to place this on the floor is because it actually has a small internal fan, and you don't want to be getting lots of dust and stuff from the carpet, from the floor, just everyday regular house stuff getting into this. Who knows how that might affect the longevity of the device. You might as well have it suspended and protect your investment essentially. So that's pretty much it for the unboxing. There isn't really much else to discuss in terms of the form factor itself. We're not buying this for how it looks, we're buying it for what it does. So I'm hoping to have a video out in the next couple of days, as I said, where we're actually plugging this guy in and taking a look at the functionality out of the box. I didn't want to make this one too long because it is just an unboxing and just talking about the general features. But let me know if you have any questions or concerns, anything that you're interested in seeing in that next video in terms of functionality, anything that's basically gonna help you in making an informed purchase. I have no problem helping you guys out with that. So that's pretty much it. This is the Nvidia Shield TV 2019. When I get a chance to pick up one of the Nvidia Shield Pros to replace my Nvidia Shield 2017, or actually not replace it, but I'd like to put it on a second TV in the house. Then I can't wait to do that review and that unboxing for you guys. But for the time being, this will be the focus for now. So hopefully this has helped you out. Just as a little point of reference to see the size, here's my S Pen for my Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So you can see it's really not that much taller than an S Pen is. Obviously it's gonna be a lot bigger, but still very easy to hide behind your TV. So that's it for me. Peace out, guys. Much love as always. 2 of them. And like I said, like, subscribe, leave some comments. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see, and I'd be glad to cover it for you. Have a great night.